Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the No Huddle, episode number 6. And I am your host, Jeff, 401 rated Jeff. I've got my Dunkin', full cup, brand new, ready to go. This guy runs on Dunkin'. Oh, yeah. So, anybody that's into the Olympics, the opening ceremonies is on right now on NBC. I've been watching it since it started. So, this is usually... The wife and I usually sit and watch this, but because I got this, we're not watching it together tonight. So I'm still watching it anyway. I got it on off to the side here. But tonight, as always, I will put the link up. Anybody that's a fan of any of the teams in the NFL, be able to come in and talk their team, talk their game. But this weekend, big game this weekend. We get the Patriots and the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. So everybody that's a fan of whatever team, drop it in the chat. What's your team you're repping? I know there's a lot of Raider fans in the chat. I will kick into the chat in a moment. So if you want to come in, you don't want to be on camera, you can be on camera. You don't have to be, but everybody's more than welcome to come in. So let's see who is here. Let us jump in. We got Raider Travis in the house. What's up, my guy? So I do have a poll up. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure you guys hit the poll up. Basically, the poll is basically who you got this Sunday. You got Seahawks, Patriots, or who cares? So right now, out of 9 votes, we've got 67% say Seahawks, 0 say Patriots, which I like to say, and 33% says who cares. So what's up, Jack? Jack's in the house. Mike's in the house. Robert Pena's in the house. Max, who I know, he supposedly came out and said that it's all bullshit. But still doesn't mean I still don't want to trade him for picks at this point. So whatever. It is what it is. Let's see. Ayo Anthony is here. What's going on, my guy? Daniel Berry's in the house. Sacktown Mike's here. What's up, Mike? How you doing, brother? Marcus Banks is in. What's up, Marcus? Let's see. Tennessee Titans to the fullest. You got it, my guy. Robert Pena, who cares? Well, salute to everybody that's here. Appreciate everybody tuning in tonight on a Friday night. JP's in the house. What's up, Jeff? How you doing today, everybody? So, big game this weekend. Everybody by now that knows me knows how much I despise the Patriots living in New England. Can't stand them. I hate the fact that they're back being relevant again. I hate absolutely every minute of them being part of this game Sunday. Totally disgusts me. But I got to stay neutral right now. But my money's on Seattle to win this for two reasons. One, I don't want there to be any doubt in Kubiak's mind that, hey, we didn't win it, so I'm going to stay another year. I want them to win it so he can sit there and say, you know what, I'm good to go, and then Tuesday signs that contract, has the press conference, and then boom, we're off and running. That's the whole goal here. But I think it's going to be a good game. It should be. Is it going to be a defensive battle? It remains to be seen. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it really might be a defensive battle, to be honest with you. I said this the other night on the connection. I think it's going to come down to whoever's got the ball last is probably going to pull this one off. That's the type of game we're going to see on Sunday, more than likely. James Firpo's in the house. What's up, James? How we doing, brother? So, I think what you're going to see here is you're going to see a battle of two good offensive coordinators between Kubiak and Josh McDaniels. I know how much we all despise Josh McDaniels as Raiders fans, but I think you got to look at what he does as an offensive coordinator. You can't take that away from him. He's a good coordinator. He's a really good coordinator. I mean, look what they did this year. You're talking about Drake May was finished number 2 in the voting for MVP behind Matthew Stafford, which I'm glad Stafford won it, not Drake May, because it's just one more thing I'd have to deal with living in New England. But I think you're going to see two very well-matched offenses. I just want to see who's going to be able to out-duel. And like I said, it might come down to who adjusts best at halftime between these two teams. Which team adjusts better on the offense based on what the other team's throwing out there for defense. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a good game. JP says 28-24 Hawks. Yeah, drop your scores and who you guys think is going to win this game in the chat. I'm curious to see what everybody's thinking for this one. I'll tell you what, I know everybody's ripping on San Fran, with the Seahawks going in and playing the Super Bowl in the 49ers field. I mean, it's the same way we felt a couple of years ago when the Chiefs, made it to the Super Bowl that was hosted in our stadium, Allegiant, and we didn't like it one bit. So I can only imagine, what the, San Fran fans are dealing with. I mean, it sucks when you got one of your biggest rivalries is playing a Super Bowl in your home field. It sucks, man. I hated every minute of it for us. It was horrible. Let's see. My question is, who's the Zebras putting their money on? Good question. I don't even know who's officiating that. That's a good question, man. Sactown Mike says 34-27 Seahawks. All right. So I just want to go over the awards. I know last night was the NFL honors, and they gave out all the awards and everything last night. So I do want to hit on this real quick. So MVP, obviously, everybody, I just said it too, was Rams QB Matthew Stafford. So he won. Finishing in second was Drake May. AP Offensive Player of the Year was Seahawks wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba, which I think he deserved that. AP Defensive Player of the Year, no surprise here, defensive end from the Browns, Myles Garrett. Defensive Rookie of the Year was Browns linebacker Carson Schlesinger. That guy's good. That guy's really good. AP Offensive Rookie of the Year, Panthers wide receiver Tritoria McMillan. Now, again, there's a guy that we all was hoping to possibly have gotten in the draft was McMillan. Schlesinger was one that I know a few guys had mentioned also too, and it turned out great for him. I think the biggest thing I'm surprised in is when I went and looked at the offensive Rookie of the Year, right? Like who's in the running for it. So, and these are the names of who he beat out. See if you guys can figure out who's missing from this list, okay? So McMillan beat out fellow finalist Jackson Dart for the Giants, Emeka Egbuka of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He beat out Trevion Henderson of the New England Patriots. He beat out Tyler Shook from the New Orleans Saints. Those are the names that were in the running. And I know some of us had said that, hey, there's probably a good chance that Genty could still win that based on what he did on such a horrible team. He wasn't even in the consideration, which means he either didn't get any votes or he wasn't even on the ballot, possibly. I don't know, but his name's nowhere to be found on this. With the type of season he had with such a hard team, I'm kind of shocked at that one. He got he got no votes. Basically, is what it comes down to, 0. And I'm kind of shocked at that one. Accelerator's in the house. What's up, Accelerator? So I'm kind of pissed that he wasn't even considered, and how somebody like Trevion Henderson was part of that list, and Tyler Shook, who he had an okay year with New Orleans, but I'm kind of surprised at that. I really am. Because I think there's at least 2 guys on this list that I think he was better than, and that was Tyler Shook from the Saints and Henderson. Because Henderson didn't play a full season. He didn't get out there right from the start. What's up, Tanner Jack? Welcome in, man. Yes, and he had 0 blocking. Absolutely. But I'm shocked that he wasn't even in consideration for it. So let's go back to the rest of this list. All right, Rookie of the Year was McMillan. Protector of the Year, which basically was offensive lineman, was Bears guard Joe Thuney. The AP Comeback Player of the Year was Christian McCaffrey. He was in the running alongside, what was the other one? I just read this. All right, so he beat out Stephon Diggs from the Patriots, Aiden Hutchinson for the Lions, Dak Prescott from the Cowboys, and Trevor Lawrence for the Jaguars. Those are the guys that he beat out for that. So, but I get it. I mean, McCaffrey had a really bad year last year. In the NFL, AP Coach of the Year was Mike Vrabel. The coaches that were in the running for that one, who he beat out, was Liam Cohen from the Jaguars and Ben Johnson from the Bears, Mike McDonald from the Seahawks, and Kyle Shanahan for the 49ers. I think it really could have gone to anybody, to be honest with you. Ben Johnson would have been definitely a very likely candidate based on how the Bears were prior to the season and what they were like in 2024 versus what they became once he took over. Liam Cohen really definitely had an impact on Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence had a really good year. Mike McDonald, what he did with the Seahawks this year was a feat in itself. Kyle Shanahan, I don't know about that one because the 49ers is still usually in it no matter what for most part. So I don't know if he should have necessarily been in the running for that one. Let's see. Cool Kev's in the house. What's up, Cool Kev? What's going on, my guy? Let's see. Where are we? Walter Payton, Man of the Year, Bobby Wagner. Which I'm not surprised at that. That guy's amazing. Obviously he goes up against all 32. There's 32 players, one from each team that's nominated. And then they gave another award, which was called the Next Gen Stats, which was, I guess, the best play of the season, and it's the Caleb Williams 46-yard overtime pass to DJ Moore. And that was for the Bears. So there's one I missed, but I'm going to bring it up a little bit separate here. So they finalized the 2026 Hall of Fame inductees. I don't know if anybody's looked at this list, and I want to get everybody's take on this. So these are the guys that are going to be going into the Hall of Fame this fall. What? So first one on this list is Drew Brees. It was with the Chargers first and the Saints from 2001 to 2020. When he retired, he was the NFL's career leader in both passing yards and touchdown passes. So passing yards, he was at 80,353. Touchdown passes, 571. And he's currently now second in both those categories behind Tom Brady. Now, Brees never won a league MVP, but he did capture MVP honors in the Super Bowl. He did have an extremely prolific career as a quarterback. Number two on this, well, not number two, but the next one on this list was Larry Fitzgerald, wide receiver from the Cardinals from 2004 to 2020. He's second only to Jerry Rice in career catches with 1,432 and receiving yards at 17,492, and is sixth in touchdowns with 121. And again, he never won a Super Bowl. He had a postseason. They said he had a postseason for the ages in 2008 that nearly culminated in the Arizona Cardinals beating the Steelers in the Super Bowl. He did play in the Super Bowl, but his personal stats warrant him getting into the Hall of Fame. I mean, he's second only to the greatest receiver, probably not the greatest football player my generation's ever seen, which was Jerry Rice. Next one on this list was Luke Kuechly, linebacker from the Panthers. What's up, Arnie? How you doing? Welcome in, brother. He was with the Panthers from 2012 to 2018. Wasn't a long career, really wasn't. But again, he was one of the NFL's premier defensive players before injuries cut his career short after 8 seasons. He won Defensive Rookie of the Year. He won Defensive Player of the Year the following season, and he was named to 7 straight Pro Bowls and was a 5-time All-Pro. Again, I don't look at at the time he was playing, the Pro Bowl was still a little bit different as far as the fact that they were still physically playing a game. Now it's a bunch of bullshit. But that 5-time All-Pro, that's huge. That means his peers voted him as one of the best in his position. Next on this list, this one hurts me. I hate every minute of it. Adam Vinatieri. He was with the Patriots and the Colts from 1996 to 2019. He's the NFL's all-time leading scorer. He ended 2 Super Bowls with winning field goals. Obviously, he's also the kicker that beat the Raiders in the famous Tuck game, the snow game, during their first championship run. There's no two ways about it. He was an amazing kicker. I will give him his props for that. Next on the list was Roger Craig. So here we are. We've got a guy that played for the Raiders that's getting into the Hall of Fame. So he was a 49er. Then he came to us, and then he spent a season with the Vikings. He was from 83 to 1993. Again, he was one of the most versatile running backs in the NFL history. He became the first player in history to post 1,000 yards rushing and receiving campaign. So he had 1,000 yards receiving and rushing in a season. He was the first one to do that. And that was in 1985. His versatility was on full display in the prior year's Super Bowl when he scored a Super Bowl record 3 touchdowns when the 49ers beat the Dolphins. So that completes the entire Hall of Fame class that's going to be getting in this fall. Oh, what's up, Mo Val? What's going on, man? Arnie says, never root for Patriots, Chiefs, Broncos, and Chargers. Notorious for what? Never know real love. I hate them all. And that's why I'm going for Seattle this weekend. Let's see. When is Jim Plunkett and Lester Hayes be in the Hall of Fame? Lester Hayes should have been in a long time ago. Jim Plunkett's going to be a tough one. I don't think I really doubt you're going to see Jim Plunkett get in there. And I know I hate saying that, but you got to look at what the Hall of Fame represents. It's personal accomplishments. It's not, yeah, I know he won 2 Super Bowls. He was an MVP in one of them, but he doesn't have the career stats to back up really getting him into the Hall of Fame, which sucks, which absolutely stinks. You know, we have to root for him. Yeah, that's why I'm all for Seattle winning. I want to see what he's going to do in the Super Bowl. Now they've got a list of the Hall of Fame finalists who missed the cut. I'm going to read these names off. You tell me if you think any one of these should have beaten out any of the ones that are getting in. So first one is Ken Anderson. He played his entire career with the Bengals from 1971 to 86. He did win a league MVP. Did he go? Yeah, he did. Yeah, and he did take him to a Super Bowl. Next one is Willie Anderson. He was an offensive tackle for the Bengals and the Ravens from 1996 to 08. Bill Belichick, Browns and Patriots head coach, 91 to 95 with the Browns and 2000 to 2023 with the Patriots. And we all know his history with what he did with the Patriots. He's second all-time in total wins at 333. He does have the record for the most playoff wins in NFL history at 31. Does anybody here think that he should have got in on this ballot, or do you think that's the NFL kind of going a big FU to him and saying you're shit out of luck and you're on your own? See you next year, hopefully, supposedly, maybe not. Next one on this list, Jahari Evans, guard, Saints and Packers from 2006 to 2017. So he was part of that Saints Super Bowl. Next one, I think this is the one that should have gotten in, to be honest with you. Frank Gore, running back, 49ers, Colts, Dolphins, Bills, Jets. He played from 05 to 2020. Now, I'm going to read off some of his info on here. So, he finished his career ahead of Barry Sanders on the rushing records, or on the total yardage. Only Emmitt Smith and Walter Payton ran for more yards than Gore, who amassed exactly 1,600 yards during his career. Wait a minute, that's not right. Most of his damage with the 49ers. That doesn't even make sense. Only Emmitt Smith and Walter Payton ran for more yards. Oh, ran for most yards than Gore. 16 years. This doesn't even make sense. 16. No, I don't get it. But again, he still finishes in the top 4 overall for running backs in the history of the NFL. I really think that Frank Gore should have probably gotten in on this one. Next one on this is L.C. Greenwood, defensive end from the Steelers from 1969 to 1981. He was definitely part of that steel curtain in those 4 Super Bowl wins in the 70s. Torrey Holt, Rams and Jaguars, 99 to 09. He's part of that greatest show on turf. Maybe next year for him. We got a couple others here too. Robert Kraft. I'm surprised he didn't get in, to be honest with you. Maybe they all go in together. Kraft, Brady, and Belichick. Ugh, God, that makes me sick thinking about that. If that's the case. Eli Manning, 04 to 2019. And this was his second time trying to get in. So he's 0 for 2 on trying to get into the Hall of Fame. But he does have 2 Super Bowls. He does have Super Bowl MVP on his. And I know some will say, well, Plunkett's not in. Why should he get in? He's definitely got better stats overall throughout his career versus Plunkett. He also played and was a starter for a lot longer than Plunkett. Plunkett wasn't a starter for long in his career. That's the thing you got to remember with that. I guess the only other one that kind of sticks out to me, Reggie Wayne from 2001 to 2014. He had 1,000 yards receiving, over 1,000 yards receiving 8 times over a 9-year span, that's pretty impressive. Then we got Jason Witten. He didn't make it. Darren Woodson, Marshall Yanda, offensive line from the Ravens, and Kevin Williams. So I'm kind of shocked that at least one of those guys didn't get in, but we'll have to wait and see. It's hard to say. With Woolen, cornerback, Mafia linebacker, Abram, Lucas, right tackle, Walker, 3 running. Walker through the running back. Joe the corner, read the defendant. Being Seattle free agents, who would you sign for us? Shaheed's on that list too, wide receiver. I wouldn't mind bringing him Rashid Shaheed. I mean, Walker is an interesting consideration because I look at it this way: we definitely need another running back. Our running back room is weak, real weak now behind behind Genti because Mosert's gone, Zamir White's gone, so that leaves us Kalia and Lobby. So that's kind of like shit, you know. So it's tough to bring. We can't go into that season without another running back. We have to. What's up, Bueno? What's going on, my guy? I mean, if we look at the free agents that are out there, you know, just for the running back position. Let's see, running backs. I mean, again, Najee Harris is another free agent. Again, Austin Eckler, Travis Etienne from Jacksonville. I wouldn't mind him so much either. Nick Chubb, no thank you. Kenneth Walker, yes. J.K. Dobbins is available. I'm trying to see who else on here. Miradulas again, huh? These are old guys too. I don't see anybody. I mean, I do like the thought of Walker, to be honest with you. His market value is only $8 million. The highest market value on this list, like who would potentially cost us the most out of these free agents? Oh, Breece Hall's I didn't realize Breece Hall's Breece Hall's a free agent. Oh, I didn't know that. No way on that. No, I don't want him. I'm just saying it's just funny that he's a free agent again because he was a free agent before last season too. So, which means they only signed him to a 1-year contract. Now let me see Breece Hall in that. That's interesting. He is young too. He's only 24. He'll be 25 at the start of the season. This will be his 5th year this season coming. It's real interesting, actually. All right, I'm going to put the link up. Pop this in the chat here. All right, link's up. I'm only bringing like one person on at a time. That's the new setup on this. And if it's a Raider fan that comes in and a fan of another team that comes in, it's going to be the other team fan that's going to come up first. Because again, this isn't necessarily a Raiders show on this Friday night. This is more of a NFL inclusive to all fans of all the teams out there. And I'm only running in vertical. I'm not running it in the full format. Only on YouTube and X am I running in the full landscape view. Yeah, Marcus, come on in, man. I want to hear you talk your Titans. It'd be interesting. see what the voting's at right now, too, out of curiosity. Let's see. What do we got? So we got 24 votes in here. We got 67% are saying Seahawks. Patriots at 4%, and who cares at 29%. Trade too screwed. What's up, Rosetown? What's going on, man? I don't know if anybody saw that today, but if you go to Raiders.com and you look at the coaching staff, they eliminated a lot of coaches are off that. Well, they're gone now. So ones that are still here on the offensive side are Connor McQueen, Luke Steckel, and Dylan McCullough. McCullough's the running back coach. Connor McQueen is the offensive quality control, and Luke Steckel's the tight ends coach. On defense, Kenyon Jackson, he's the assistant defensive line. Run game coordinator and defensive line is Rob Leonard. He's still here. Rip Rowan, who's the defensive assistant, and pass game coordinator, defensive backs is Joe Woods. Special teams, interim special teams coordinator, Darius Swinton is still here. But everybody else is gone. Everybody's gone. Philbin, Olsen, they've all, see ya. And one guy that's still here, yes, Deuce Gruden. The guy is like a cat, man. He's got multiple lives. I don't know how he still survives, but he's still here. Go ahead, Arnie. What's up? So, what does everybody think about the whole Max thing the other day? You guys, I know he came out supposedly and said, no, I'm not going anywhere. I guess he's officially staying. Who knows? Unless the team still wants to trade him, which, again, I'm still all for it. I have no issues with it. Question 1 of 9. What is your enthusiasm level with Kubiak Mendoza appearing for next season? I'm looking forward to the Kubiak side of that, 100%. I think we could see great things or big things with this team with him in there running the show. Based on what our offense looked like last year, I think if the right coaches come in, especially for the offensive line, because I think that's the biggest thing, is that line coaching was horrible last year, and it was proven why it was so bad. I think if we fix the coaching on the offensive line, that in itself is already going to start to improve the offense. Because then that's going to start giving room for Genty to run, give the quarterback, whoever it is, some time to, make some reads and get the ball out of his hands and get it into your playmakers, whether it be Genty, whether it be Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer, whoever's out there for receivers, Betch, whatever. The Mendoza thing, I'm still out on him personally. I'm still 100% all in favor of trading back. I really am. I still rather have the extra picks to build more with this team because let's face it, everybody's like, well, we got 10 picks. I honestly don't think 10 picks is enough sometimes. Not with what we need. We need way too much. It's not about what this quarterback can do coming in for us. It's what we can do setting everything forward, for the future of this team. This is going to be a youth movement. This is going to be a youth movement setting this team up going forward into the future. And that's how you have to look at this. I just don't think Mendoza's the right fit. I really don't. I am willing. This is the first time I'm saying this myself. I am all for waiting for next year to grab a quarterback. If we make these trades right and we trade and we get first round picks in next year's draft too, where they're going to be early picks so we can get, a better style quarterback. Because let's face it, Mendoza is only the consensus number one right now because we're picking number one. He's not the overall number one as far as talent in this draft. There's a few other guys that would be ranked ahead of him, but it's because we need a quarterback. We're picking number one. He's number one on everybody's board because they know that's probably what we're going to take. So that's how I look at it too. If we were to draft without a doubt best player available, it ain't Mendoza. I'm sorry. It's just not. Let's see. Lisa did some backpedaling on Max. Yeah. What's up, 805? What's going on, man? O-line coach from the Eagles. I think he's going to be bringing more than likely that kid Bennett from Seattle. And what I've seen stat-wise, how he's turned around that offensive line and his time there, I think it's kind of impressive. And I think he could do the same thing here with this offensive line for sure. Mendoza is the next Peyton Manning. We could trade back some of those picks. What's up, Alex? What's going on, man? A bunch of clickbait. Max trade rumors every offseason. But Max wants guaranteed money. He's got his guaranteed money. The other thing you look at, too, we're a few years away from being something in our division alone. Max is only here for 2 more years, 3 more years. He's not going to be here long term for this to turn around. So is he going to be willing to want to sit here and wait that? I mean, it doesn't really matter whether he wants to sit here and wait or not. But if we got a phone call and the offer's too good, guess what? See you, Max. Sorry. He's not here long term, basically. He's not part of the long term solution for this team. And we got to look at what we can get now for him versus when his contract is up. If he doesn't want to sign with us and then we get nothing for him and he just moves on somewhere else, we've got a chance to get a haul for him. Not a huge haul, but enough to really have an impact on this team going forward. Again, it's all about setting this team and this roster up for the future. And if that's why I look at the ability to trade Max, I think is such a big deal right now. And I am still all for it, whether he wants to or not. He has no say. He does not have a no trade clause. So if we want to trade him, we can trade him. We don't have to ask him where he wants to go. It has no player should be able to ask demand where they want to go, unless they have a no trade clause. That's different. But when you don't have a no trade clause, it's up to the team. It's up to the GM, the owner, the coach, where they want to ship them off to. Whatever's going to give the best return for our money or for that player, then that's what you do. People are like, oh, we should trade him to a contender. Fuck no. Why should we trade him to a contender? We could trade him to the worst team in the league, so we're assured that we're going to get a better draft pick. That's the way you got to look at it. Sorry, it's a business. It's probably true about Max, but I think Max learned his lesson from his voicing about, yeah, true. Let's see, where are we? QB most important. It might be the most important position, but again, he's still not BPA. He's not the best player available. 805 will tell you that himself. Kubiak will choose a choice on Mendoza. I think it's a yes. You never know. He may not want Mendoza. Jeff, let's be truthful. We won't be back at number one for another 20 years. Who knows? I mean, we might not be back at number one, but if anybody's expecting us to be this miracle team next year, don't hold your breath. I have a feeling we're still going to be picking in the top 10 easily next season, without a doubt. And if we get the right draft capital for what we could possibly trade away and what we get for next year, we could move up in the draft again too next year. So there's a lot of what we can and can't do. I mean, there's a lot of playing around with this if it's done right. So you're saying that Peyton Manning, that Mendoza has a lot of the same traits as Peyton Manning? I don't see it. Mendoza has the intangible traits that will make him great. There's plenty of people out there that dispute that. Ones that are a little bit more player evaluator type, like 805, some of those guys, they'll give you a better take on, his intricacies on what he does good and what he doesn't do good. Kubiak is not tanking no, I never said tank. It's just going to be generic. If we're not that good, we're not that good. I mean, again, I say this all the time. You got to realize we have to base this 2026 season coming up on what's currently on, because what's on the roster right now is what you've got until free agency and until draft. And if we don't do the right thing in free agency, and if we don't get the players that we really need to get in the draft, we're going to have pretty much the same type of roster we had last year. So with better coaching staff, hopefully, so that could change things too. But you have to still base everything on what's on this current roster that's we're still paying. Yes, especially between the ears. I trust Gruden. Kubiak. Wow, what did Gruden say? Brady too. I just don't think it's the right move for us. I don't think the time is right. I just don't. I see us getting a big haul for that number one pick overall, especially if it's the Jets. We could pull 2 first-round picks out of this. And then if you trade Max, you get even more. Gruden said Mendoza is a great move for us Raiders. Well, I mean, at this point, only time will tell, really, to be honest with you. I mean, let's face it. I mean, more than likely, that's who they're going to take. I mean, I highly doubt they're going to trade out of it. It just should still be an option. Again, if a team calls and the haul is that big, that you cannot not take it. Let's put it that way. You have to seriously consider it. You can't just hang up or not answer phones leading up to the draft on teams that want to trade for that number one. You have to hear them out. Or if they want to trade for Max, you have to hear them out. You can't just turn a blind ear or a deaf ear to anybody that's looking to make a move. Truthfully, why did Kubiak take this head coach job? Brady, Mark Davis, Spytek, our roster, or the first round pick? Or just the fact that he gets a chance to put his own name on it. Because think about it, if he turns this team around, Kubiak, he'll be a god amongst Raider fans. You know that. The fans will absolutely love him. And based on what we've had to endure for the last 15 to 20 years, if he can turn this into a winning program, regardless who the players are, automatically he's going to be considered one of the greatest coaches because he took a complete shit bum team and turned them around. I'd rather trade Max than the first. A good statement, and thank you. And I think we're giving Brady too much credit for having us saying things. I really do. I'm wondering how much of an effect he's actually having on any of this. Keep in mind, he's the one that wanted Chip Kelly in here. So how did that work out? Why would Jets move up and not take Mendoza? That would make no sense. If we draft Mendoza, they get cream of the crop. Yeah, but that's the whole point. The Jets would want to move up to the number one to get Mendoza because they're another team that's needs a quarterback bad. At least we've got a quarterback on this roster now with given the right tools could actually be better than what we saw last year. And yeah, I'm talking Geno Smith because Geno's still on this roster. He's still under contract. And we got to remember if we cut him, then we've got cap issues. Not cap issues, but it counts, Yeah, as long as they give us a third rounder, which we're not going to get. I don't think you're going to get much for Geno if you try and trade him. You might get a 6th rounder for him. maybe a fifth. Gino's his season last year really hurt him. I trade Brady for a Dunkin' Lights iced coffee, 4 caramel. Yeah, no caramel. You get no caramel, no milk. No. Send Gino to the Jets for free. That's probably what it would take. We may have to actually pay them to take him. 6th rounder. Kubiak is not coming for Geno Smith at AOC to be his QB. Again, we don't even know what his intention is at quarterback. You really don't. What if he wants to bring, say, Mac Jones in here instead? I mean, again, we don't know what his plan is. We don't know who he wants. Does he even like Mendoza? We don't know. Nobody knows. You know who knows? Kubiak knows. You know who doesn't? We don't, because he hasn't said anything. Once he's officially our head coach, and then we can start, he'll start having those questions asked of him in press conferences and such. Then you'll know what his true intentions are and what he wants to do. Because let's face it doesn't matter. He can come out and say we're taking Mendoza. We don't have to wait till draft day. We can say that's who we're taking. And then at that point, that just shuts everybody up on the good side or on the opposite side, meaning, on the side of who wants him without a question and who doesn't want him. So that'll squash everything at that point. It could still change draft day, though. Remember that. If we aren't ready for a QB, what makes you think the Jets are? Who cares? If they want to take a chance on him, let them have him. I just want their draft picks. I don't give a shit what they do with who they take. It really has no bearing on me. I mean, shit, for all we know, they could trade and not take him and take a Bain, thinking we may still take Bain. Who knows? And then, yeah, we take Mendoza and we still have an extra first-round pick. And maybe even more. Just don't want to. Yeah, they don't want Geno again. After draft, is Geno Smith on our roster? Yes or no? Still in the contract for another year. It depends on if we want to eat the rest of his contract and cut him. That's what it comes down to. And I think it's like an $8 million dead cap hit for him. True. The Jets will get a first-year guaranteed with Geno for them. Let's see. They get rid of all the Carrolls were already better. Oh, hell yeah. I still can't believe Brennan Carroll was still on this coach's staff as of yesterday or as of today. It just blows my mind. Your favorite movie? Oh, Warriors. That is a good movie. Damn, can't get 2 fancy food stamps for Geno. No one wants him. No, they don't. That's the problem. You're going to have a hard time trading that son of a bitch away. It's just not going to happen. I guess nobody wants to come in tonight, huh? Geno did his dirty like EBT fraud now. I haven't seen anybody in the chat from another team yet tonight. I'm shocked. Maybe everybody's watching the opening ceremony for the Olympics. Everybody's hooked on that. Can I pin it with the... Okay. All right, so for the poll right now, we've got 27 votes. Seahawks are at 67%. Patriots are at 7%. And who cares is at 26%. Jeff, would you cut Geno Smith or run it back with him as our starter? In all honesty, I I don't want to lose money. I wouldn't want to lose money. Not if we're going to need the. Granted, I know people. It was only 8 mil, but still, in all honesty, I would probably run it back one more year with him. Milk him for what we can. You know, I mean, who knows? Like I said, you don't know what Kubiak could do with Gino, with the right offensive line and coaching up front. It could be a completely 180 from last year. If you get him the right coaching on the offensive line, the right protection schemes, another running back there with Genti, a good wide receiver to get out there instead of Thornton, things could be different. It could really be different. I'm telling you. Retreads and backup QB is how we live for the last 4 years since Derek Carr drafted QB. Yeah, and if it takes another year, it's going to take another year. Fans just have to be patient, man, and that's one thing Raider fans are not, is we're not patient. Not at all. If we draft Mendoza, Gino is not starting. Oh no, Gino's going to start if we still have him on the roster. There's no way Mendoza's coming out and starting right away. I don't see that happening. And it's not because of his talent. It's like until this offensive line gels and we know that they can protect the quarterback, you cannot put that kid out there in harm's way. I don't care who the quarterback is that's a rookie coming in. You can't do that because if your offensive line is not solid, if your offensive line is as sad as it was last year, you're going to get that kid killed and you're going to crush his confidence. And that's what happens with some of these rookie quarterbacks. They get out there when they're not ready and their confidence gets shot. And then they just turn to crap afterwards. Then they become something years down the line because they end up with the right team. Look at Sam Darnold, perfect example. Crap all the way through. And then this year, what's he do? He lights it up this year. He has a great year. Have him flip us all off again another season. Nah, Gino can kick rocks. You gonna pay the 8 mil? I just don't see the Jets trading up, especially while just starting a rebuild. Eagles online coach that just quit. Get him. I'm telling you, either him or I think they've already said that Bennett is probably going to come with. You're going to see some Seahawks coming with Kubiak because Bennett came with Kubiak when Kubiak got there. There was a couple others that came over with him. So you're going to see some of these coaches after the Super Bowl follow him here. So, and you may not see us grab guys like, I don't know the guy's name from the Eagles. I know who you're talking about because I heard his name come up the other day. I just don't remember what the hell his name was. Raider Nation hates flip-off Gino. Of course they do. I hate it too. I mean, yeah, it is hard to see him start, but I think right now it's a reality, to be honest with you. Again, looking at this roster right now as we're sitting here talking, he's on this roster and he's the guy right now still. And until another quarterback comes in here that could possibly give him competition, Gino's still the guy for us in 2026 at this moment as we're talking. I just think Raider fans aren't patient, but can you blame them? Failed coaches after failed coaches, no stability, no direction. The opportunity we have a chance to draft a QB with a high ceiling, and it's not the right year to do it. I mean, I'm still saying get a quarterback in this draft. Just I don't think it's him. I would much rather have Chambliss, way more than Mendoza. But the good thing is with Chambliss, you're not using a first-round pick for him. You can get him in the second, third, maybe early third, probably. I think his stock might go up because if we take Mendoza, the Jets will probably. If they're still going to take a quarterback, it's probably going to take Ty. Moore staying back in college really screwed things up. But in the long run, it made our pick even more valuable for trade bait because with only one technically bona fide QB coming out in the first round, teams may pay a higher value for that pick than what we thought. The 7th round pick. Kubiak plays a 12 personnel, and so does Mendoza. Yeah, pick. I'll bet on it. No, it's an easy bet. I'm sure that's what's going to end up happening, but it's like you still have to look around the room and what the potential is we can do with this, you know? Mike, you still in the chat? If you want to jump in, man, I'm telling you, anybody can come in. I don't care. Link's pinned at the top of the chat. You can't go another season with Gino as a starter. But again, reality is right now, that's who's there. Team USA just walked in. Chambliss is nice, but a second is a reach for a guy who was a backup before Ole Miss started, got hurt, had one good year. That's why I said second or third. He's moved up, though. Chambliss is moved up in the rankings compared to where he was before. Fix O-line, we will be in good shape. Oh, that's a must. If we don't do anything with the offensive line, we're dead in the water again. As far as I'm concerned, O-line is improved. As soon as he got fired, it was improved, if you ask me. How he didn't get fired, hopefully. I mean, sooner. What's up?
What's up? This totally isn't job.
Yeah. What's up, Hobo Accelerator, a.k.a. Josh?
What's that, man? I have to go and take care of some clothes. So what were you just talking about these last few minutes?
Yeah, first of all, you sound muffled.
Do I? Hold on. What about now?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay, that was me having my my screen protector on my phone. I just took my phone out of its case. So we're just talking about the Hawks and Pats.
The what?
We're just talking about the Hawks and the Patriots.
Well, kind of, but it's heavy Raiders chat here, so we're talking a little bit more about Mendoza, Gino, and all the other crap. Coaches that got let go today. How most of them are all gone now, thank God.
Well, I saw Max Crosby's comments, and everybody's claiming that Max said he was going to stick with the Raiders, but he did not say that. I saw that whole interview. All he said was, I'm just here to work as hard as I can, blah, blah, blah. All that sort of politically correct stuff you're supposed to say to the media. He didn't give an indication one way or the other. But all the Raiders fans are out there like spreading like, oh, yeah, Max says he's staying with the Raiders. He didn't come close to saying that. So
I'm fine.
I'm
trade away. I've been on that for a year, so.
But I just hate when people put false stories out there. I mean, because Max didn't say that.
But how long did it take? It took him a while to come out and dispute it, though. If that was the case, as soon as that would have been out, and I didn't really say that, it would have come out a hell of a lot earlier than what he did. I would have said something. But supposedly his boys that he does the Rush podcast with tweeted some stuff, too, saying pretty much the same thing. Right. So, I mean, is it them saying it for him because he just doesn't want to come out and say it? It's a possibility. You don't know what people's intentions are. The only one that knows the truth is Max.
The truth is, though, Max is usually not somebody who tries to lead people astray, or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I get what you're saying. Dude. But maybe he's protecting himself. Maybe he feels like he'll get fined if he talks about it or something. I don't know. Or maybe there's something in his contract that says not to talk about subjects like this. I don't know. But he didn't say he wasn't leaving the Raiders today, guys. Sorry to the Raider creators that came out today and said that are absolutely wrong. They're just taking something he said and trying to twist it into, oh, he said he's staying. No, he says he comes to the building every day and works hard. That's what he said. Has nothing to do with whether he's staying here or going somewhere else.
Well, the funny thing is, until this shit dropped this week, you haven't heard diddly from him since the KC game, because he was in the stadium. He was on the sidelines during the KC game. On his Rush podcast, he really I don't even think he talked Raiders at all. He hasn't said anything about the team in that time frame. He hasn't been vocal about anything. He hasn't brought up anything about the coaches. He hasn't said anything this week about his take on Kubiak. Nothing. He's been quiet, which is what makes me think, is this really real? Because he's just keeping hush-hush about anything to do with the team. And then all of a sudden this comes out from Jay Glazer, who he's him and Max are good friends, and why would you put your friendship on the line and come out and say something about a guy that may not be true?
Well, his interview was with Colin Cowherd, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, it wasn't with Jay Glazer.
No. Jay Glazer is the one that said it, though.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, Jay Glazer. I saw the interview where he said it, that Max is done with the Raiders, blah, blah, blah. However he worded it. I don't have the exact quote.
I just saw the interview Max did today. Did you see that?
Yeah, where he said he's not going anywhere. I don't know.
Well, he didn't say he wasn't going anywhere. He just said a bunch of politically correct stuff about how he's here to work hard and he doesn't worry about the rest and things like that. So he didn't give any indication one way or the other.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I mean, he doesn't really owe us an explanation, but I think he wants out too. And I think he's looking at it the same way I'm looking at it, which is, even if everything goes perfect, right? Even if like Clint Kubiak turns out to be the perfect coach and we hit on the draft and we get all the right free agents, we're still a good 4 years away from winning a Super Bowl. And that's if everything goes perfect. By that time, Max is going to be 32 and starting to get past his prime. He probably doesn't want to wait that long to play for a contender. So
that's what I was saying a little while ago. It's like Max is not part of the long-term solution for this team. And people have to realize that when his contract is up, he's going to be at that age where it's going to be time to move on and we're going to get nothing for him. You've got a chance now to get a haul for him, whatever it may be. And that's why you do it now, because Max is not long-term solution for this team going forward. He's not going to be here when this team is going to be finally turning that corner and becoming, competitive within our division and within the league. Anybody that's got aspirations that we're going to be a playoff team in 2 years is kind of crazy. I definitely don't think it's going to be that time frame. I think it's going to be a lot longer than that, because of this. We've just got so much that we need to improve on. And anybody we bring in, whether it be a rookie in the draft or a free agent, it's going to take some time for these players to gel and to mesh together to be something. Last year was a complete disaster. Probably one of the worst teams I've ever seen, other than the Art Shell year, his final year.
You got to go back to the 80s to see a team this bad. And of any team, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like I've said it before, and I think I've told you this, we were basically the 80s Buccaneers this year.
That's what it felt like. Let me just get through the chat here because I see a lot of other people have spotted it. So Arnie says, Raiders have been patient since 2003. Derek Carr, broken leg, killed us after Carr. We got nothing but a bunch of clowns. Stidham, Jimmy G, Minshew, AOC, Geno Smith. True. Raiders mom is in the house. What's up, man? How you doing, hon? How's Devin? How's Little Raider? How's everything going there? Let's see. Martinez, what's up, man? No fool. He said, stop listening to other people. If I have something to say, I'll say it myself. Yeah, that's what he said today, correct? He said, everyone takes what he says out of context, so he has learned to keep his mouth shut. Yes, please. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and hit the notifications. I may do something on Sunday. I'm not 100% positive yet.
Oh, like a stream?
I might. What's up, Chris? Chris 4 Raiders is in the house. He said all news of him leaving is news to him. I took that as he is staying. I think his agent told him to keep quiet for the last year or so. Let's see. Appreciate you, nation. Sending hugs to everyone. We're thriving and surviving. Kids are all finally not sick, so the house is popping. Good. Good. Already misses Chris's grumpiness. I think it will be in 2 years.
I actually agree with that, Jeff. I'm going to slightly disagree with what you just said. I can actually see us sneaking into the playoffs in 2027 with like a 9-8 record or something.
You're crazy.
I mean, if Clint is as good as we hope he is, that's 2 years.
But see, that's the problem, though. But again, that's the problem with Raider fans. They're putting expectations on the guy that's not even in the door yet. We have no idea what his formula is, what his format, what he wants to do going forward. So anybody that's talking playoffs within the next 2 years, that's a pipe dream. Again, the guy's
possible. I'm not saying guaranteed. I think it's possible.
I get that, but the guy's not even in the door yet, and we're already putting expectations on this guy to take us to the playoffs in 2027. And you're not the only one that probably thinks that. It's just that you're the one that's on here saying it right now. So, and that's the other problem, because we put expectations on a guy, and if he doesn't follow through on what what you're thinking, automatically you're like, oh, this guy's no good. He can't get it done, because now you got everybody else thinking that same way, and they start going down that path of, maybe he wasn't the right choice. And then that just raises more doubts. Then it puts all the Raider fans in a funk again, because there's unrealistic expectations put on a coach. Again, that's not even in the goddamn door yet. He hasn't even signed the paperwork to say, I will be the coach.
Well, I'm saying that it's a slight possibility. That's where I'm coming from. I don't expect that.
I'll simply say I'll see it when I see it.
Yeah.
You can't do that to a guy. You're setting him up for failure already. Again, we don't even know what he's bringing in for coaches. We don't know what type of offensive scheme he's going to run. Yes, we see what he's running in Seattle, but will that work here with what we have for talent? Maybe, maybe not. So for anybody to stop putting expectations on what this team's going to be going forward, you're crazy. It makes no sense. And this is where I'm trying to just open everybody's mind to what the possibilities are going forward. The possibilities are we don't know yet. We have no clue. This all hinges on what he brings in for coaches, how familiar people are with those coaches, what we think they can do based on what they've done in the past. And in all honesty, Clint's only got a couple of years of, OC in him, seeing what he can do. And I'm not shooting them down already. I'm just saying my expectations are high right now. They can't be. I got to keep a head on me where things may go bad for a few years. Or we're not winning consistently, or not winning at all, And yes, Tanner says over and over, NFL teams turn it around fast, but we're not other teams. We're not built the same sometimes.
Well, we don't have the talent.
Those teams have a semblance of players that are viable and can do something going forward. All they need is a couple of pieces, and next thing you know, they turn it around. The Patriots, they drafted smart last year. They brought in the free agents, and boom, they're in the Super Bowl. We're far from that. We're far away from drafting a couple of players and bringing in a couple of free agents to turn this thing around. Everybody's got Mendoza as the savior. There's no one that's a savior for this team that's going to come in and turn this shit around in 1 year. Just being realistic. And that's what fans sometimes just don't realize, that if you got to be realistic here. You got to understand that this is a process. This is not going to be a quick turnaround.
Well, and the whole Mendoza stuff pisses me off. Raider Nations, I have this one-track mind on Mendoza, like he's just gonna just come in here and just change everything right away. And the thing is that Raider fans, Raider Nation gets this one-track mind. If we select somebody other than Mendoza in that first round, half of Raider Nation is going to turn against Clint Kubiak just because of that, just because their hearts are so set on him that they can't even just think about anything else right now. And I hate that way that Raider Nation does this, but they get fixated on one guy, and then if we don't get that guy, we're the worst, and we have the worst coaches in the world, or whatever it is. I wouldn't be mad at all if we drafted an offensive lineman in that first pick. I really wouldn't.
Say that again. You wouldn't be surprised if what?
I would not be mad at all if we drafted an offensive lineman with that first pick. Wouldn't bother me one bit.
With the number one?
Yeah, wouldn't bother me a bit.
I can't see that. I'm not.
Well, what would you like if we went outside of quarterback? What would you like to see?
I'm looking at Reese. I'm looking at Bain. I'm going defense because they're the best players. Technically, would be the best in the first 2 or 3 picks. I'm going for a guy that can come in, and if we're going to keep Max, I want a guy that's going to be able to offset him on the other side of the ball. And then we can go quarterback later on in the draft. People think there's no other quarterbacks. There's other quarterbacks. They're not going to be in the caliber of what you think the Dozer is.
Ty Simpson is out there, and he's pretty darn good.
And I'm not crazy about him.
Yeah, he said the same about you in an interview earlier. It was crazy.
Good. He can go fuck himself.
It would be funny if he really did, right? What if an actual NFL player gets on TV one day and like, this is you?
Bring it. Hey, negative press is good press too. I'll take it. I'll take it. Because then people will be like, who's this guy? Let's go see who this is. Next thing you know, numbers go up. Okay with me.
Yeah. Robert Kraft gets on a radio show saying he's tired of you talking bad about the Patriots or whatever, and all of a sudden your show has like 100,000 followers.
Hey, I already said I would still punch Brady in the face, so I mean, New England fans hate me. I don't care.
Why would you punch Brady in the face? What he didn't create that rule.
I just don't like him.
Really?
Just not a fan.
I like him. He built himself up through hard work, so I like him.
He what?
He built his legacy on really, really hard work, so I like, because he doesn't have a whole lot of natural talent.
Legacy on the chance that the quarterback that was a starter got hurt. If Drew Bledsoe didn't get hurt, Brady's run would have had that Super Bowl never would have happened, and right. he wouldn't have played until the next year or whenever they got rid of Bledsoe. So he would have been at least 2 years away from even thinking about sniffing a Super Bowl. So
maybe, but that's what I'm saying.
He, in all honesty, he should have Bledsoe on his own personal payroll, because if it wasn't for Bledsoe trying to run up the sideline and get shellacked and crack his sternum and he was out for God knows how long, Brady would not be the Brady that we know. There's no two ways about it.
No, that's true. That's true. But he's not a very naturally talented guy. He doesn't what?
I said Bledsoe was not a slouch. Bledsoe was a damn
good. Bledsoe was good.
Kubiak will get 6 wins this season. Great coaches need to improve all position groups with the same scheme for a couple of years with good draft classes and good free agents. See, people are already putting wins, Colin. I'm not looking at wins. I can't even. I know it'll come up in shows prior to the season starting. What do you think we're going to do for wins or whatever? I'm going to say 3+. That's all I'm going to say. I just either equal what we did last year or improve by a game or 2. I can't sit here and say, we're going to win 6 games, 7 games, 8. I fell into that trap last year. I'm not falling into it this year. Anything above 3, great. But make sure the following year that it increases even more. We need to see progression, not this, where we just don't get any better.
Yeah, you're definitely trying to protect your heart, buddy. But I respect it.
I'm not trying to protect my heart. I'm trying to still stay to the point where I'm not saying this guy's a failure right away if he doesn't get us 7 to 8 wins this season. People already talking, and I'm telling you, I've seen it in chats, and I don't mean just chats that we all want. I mean, there's tons of them out there. I've seen it on new chats where people are already predicting that, he could take us to a Super Bowl. Mendoza's going to take us to a Super Bowl along with Kubiak. If he does, that's great. That's awesome. But don't be pissed the following year if we only win 7 or 8 games, just because it was an anomaly this year. Again, look at the Redskins. They were 1 game shy of making it to the NFC Championship in 2024. And then what happened this year? Jaden Daniels gets hurt for a chunk of the season, and the team's nowhere near as good as they were the year before. So, you get this high expectation, well, we made it to the playoffs this year, so next year we should be even better, maybe even make the Super Bowl. And all of a sudden, all it takes is one wrong play. Offensive line is trash. Mendoza gets hit, breaks his leg or whatever. Now we're bottom of the barrel again. So I don't want to see us doing this or doing this. I want to see us going this and this and this. Just a gradual climb up to the point where we're such a well-oiled machine that we just roll from season to season. And those are the expectations I have. I'm starting low. I'm starting at three. I'm starting at 3 and we're going up. That's how I'm looking at it. I'm doing the old prices right when it comes to bidding. I'm bidding $1. I'm bidding 1 win.
That's a smart way to do it, but we can't just throw Mendoza out there. We can't just let him start. We have to have him behind somebody.
If everybody wants him that bad and thinks he's that great, then he should be starting day 1. That's all I got to say at this point. Do I think he should? No. I think he should sit. But I'm telling you, enough people are going to say he needs to start. So let's start him then. Let's let the savior of Raider Nation start right away.
Well, Mendoza is not calling himself that, so I don't know if he deserves.
He's not. The fans are.
I know, but why throw him into the fire because of the fans? That's.
I just think if he doesn't start at all next season, people are going to have a shit fit. I'm going to be like, well, he shouldn't have started. And then that's where I sit there and say, that's why taking him at number 1 is not the best value with your number 1 overall pick. When you could grab a guy like, say, Reese, and he's a plug and play. When you draft him, send him right to Vegas, get him sized for his uniform because he's going to start week 1. Mendoza, yeah, you can get him his uniform, but he's going to be on the bench, being the third QB on the roster more than likely.
Yeah.
He'll be out there in uniform, but he won't be playing unless extreme emergencies.
Like I kind of told you last week, I think we're trying to bring in Kirk Cousins or we're reaching out to him or something.
That's horrible. Why would you cut Geno, be on the hook for $8 million, and then bring in a guy and pay another quarterback? Because he's not going to ask for small money. It's going to be more than what Geno's getting, and you're going to bring him in. That's so dumb. I just don't get it.
I think Kirk Cousins' market value has gone significantly down.
It doesn't even matter. I'll look it up right now. See what it is. Hang on.
Or if Derek Carr comes back, some people are saying.
On this chat.
What?
Is he? He's not a free agent though.
Who isn't Kirk?
Is he on here?
I know the Falcons are looking to cut ties with him. So.
Yeah. So he's still out there.
He's still in Atlanta.
Ross. Yeah, he's not a free agent. All right, let me just get through this chat here.
Yeah.
What's up, Perry? If it happens, Raiders do not take Mendoza in the trade, the number 1 pick to the team who would give us the best offer for that number 1 pick. Absolutely. Arnie, question: getting Kubiak as a head coach, who do you most credit for the hire? Brady, Spytek, Mark Davis, or only coaching job left? I think it's a mix of the only coaching job left and probably Spytek. I ain't giving Brady credit for shit. Super Bowl to be competitive first. Exactly, Nada. Thank you. I want them to come to the games ready to play. Good communication, signs of improvement. Exactly. Told you. I don't want to see what I saw in Philly ever again from this team. Ever again. What I saw when that team came out of the tunnel made me sick to my stomach. Watching the way that team came out with no desire. They didn't want to be there. They did not want to be there. And it showed by the way that they handled themselves, conducted themselves on the sideline when they came out at the beginning of the game, when they came out in the second half after halftime. These guys did not want to be there. They looked miserable. They looked disgusted, tired. Yeah, it was cold. Suck it up, Buttercup. You got to play in any kind of weather. It doesn't make a difference. It was a shell of what I seen compared to week 1. When I saw what they looked like week 1 compared to what they looked like in Philly, it was disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And then to see the performance on the field, even worse. Week 6, I say he starts. Still too.
We were so bad this year that you almost can't even pick a worse game.
Huh?
We were so bad this year that you almost can't even pick a worse game. Like eight games would qualify for our worst game.
Oh, that was definitely the worst I saw all season.
Worse than the Chiefs?
Yeah, yeah. Did we
No.
shut out the Chiefs? Did they shut us out?
Dude, we got less than 70 yards of total offense against the Chiefs.
Yeah, well, this game here against Philly, we were hardly ever out there on the field. That we only had 17 minutes of total time on the field with the ball. That's bad. Second shortest game in NFL history. That just shows you right there. We were 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. It was horrible. Absolutely horrible. We couldn't even get the kicks right. The punts were bad. Everything. It was just this, from start to finish. The game was awful. Arnie says Mendoza is his best QB in this year's draft. Moore, Simpson, Trinidad back all lost to him on the way to national championship. Juice Gruden has a life contract. He does. It seems like he does. Has a lifetime contract with the Raiders. What's up, Jamosin? I'm so jelly you guys are getting Kubiak as a head coach. He will use Genty well, and while not amazing, I can see a 6 and 8 win season. The second season, though, the roof's the limit. And that's the other thing, too. Mendoza's not going to come in here and have killer stats. Kubiak's going to be a run-first type guy. That's the way he's going to do this, especially with Genty there. And if we get another good running back in there to play alongside of him as a second, as a fresher breath there every now and then to take Genty off the field and let him, recoup, that's another good thing, especially if it's a bigger back. That's the other thing. We need a bruiser. Genty's that finesse guy. We need somebody that can lower his head and just plow right through somebody. That's what we need.
Like an A.J. Dillon sort of type of dude.
Yeah, fucking just anything. Anything's better than what we had for running backs to offset Genty. Genty had no legit second running back. Mostert was the closest, and Mostert's in his early 30s.
Yeah. I heard Breece Hall might be an option for us, but I don't know how true that is.
He is a free agent. I didn't know that until today when I was looking through it. I'm like, God damn.
I mean, Breece Hall could definitely be a great 1-2 punch with Ashton. I don't know how much money he would charge, though.
What was it for running backs? I'll run through the list again. He's the highest right now market value. So you got Breece Hall as a free agent.
Yeah.
Travis Etienne's a free agent. Kenneth Walker is a free agent. J.K. Dobbins. A.J. Dillon. Rashad White. Who's this?
I think A.J. Dillon is the biggest of them size-wise. So,
yeah, it's not. I can't see how big they are. Like the breakdown, like how big, like the height and weight and all that.
But A.J. Dillon is a big old up the middle dude. He's like 250 or something.
Dude, Tyler Algier is also a free agent. And Algier is not a bad running back. It's just that with what's his name there, it's a little bit different. When you got Bijan there, I forgot it. JP 100% not ready to play in Philly. Same as Christmas Day down there a few years ago. Froze my ass off to see that disaster. Yeah, that Philly game bad.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask you. Were the Philly fans like feeling sorry for you and stuff?
Yeah, they were cool. And that's part of the reason why I never went to a Philly game before, because people were like, oh, Philly fans are assholes, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I was a little nervous, especially taking my wife to her first Raiders game, first football game, period. I'm like, am I really doing her a favor, bringing it to Philly of all places? And first of all, she had a blast. She loved it. It was cold as hell, obviously. We were both freezing our ass off. But we were literally, it was her and I and pretty much all the rows in front of us and behind us, and everybody basically we were the only two Raider fans pretty much in that section for with 4 rows in front and 4 rows behind us. The next closest Raider fan was on the next section over and in the middle. So we were all by ourselves. So if some shit happened, I had no Raider fans coming to my defense, first of all, because they were none around us.
Yeah.
I was surrounded by Eagles fans, and the two guys behind me were even bigger than me. Okay. And even some of the ones in front of me were even bigger than me. So I was like, if these fans are assholes, and I told her too, I said, just we can't be obnoxious. We're in enemy territory here. This is not good. At least in New England where I sat, I had my son with me. I had members from my chapter sitting in the row in front of me. I had a few behind me. There were a shit ton of Raider fans at that game. Philly, not so much. But I'll tell you what, the Philly fans that were sitting around us, the two big dudes behind me, I was talking to them most of the game. And they were wicked cool. We had really good conversations about their team, my team, and then just football in general. And they were super cool. I mean, they're the ones that took the pictures of Dawn and I during the game. I gave him my phone, and he's taking pictures of the two of us. And we ended up having a blast with them, I mean, he offered to buy us, beers and everything. And I'm like, I don't drink, neither does she. So, I mean, that's the type of people that they were. They're nothing like what everybody says they are. Granted, it was the Raiders. I'm sure if it was a Cowboys or a Giants game or a Redskins game, it might have been different because it's a division rival game. But they were super cool, super super cool.
I've heard that the Raiders are like one of the teams that Eagles fans kind of give a pass to for some reason. Maybe because we have the same mentality they do as far as like the loyalty and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, being a Cowboys fan walking in there is dangerous.
So Arnie says Geno Smith has no passion. Pete Carroll was in denial, never benching Geno, letting this product happen every week after the Patriots win. That was a Raider Nation punishment. Yeah, it was bad. Chimoza says, as much as Seattle likes to bitch about Charbonnet and Walker, they are a good duo. Yeah, they are. Get a heavy back who can get you those 2 or 3 yards going through guys with Genty, and you got a good run game. Oh, definitely. Definitely. And I think that's what hurts the Seahawks the most this weekend, is not having Charbonnet out there along with Walker. You don't have that 1-2 punch. And I think that's going to be hopefully not a big factor for them. They got through the Rams with no problem. No problem with only the one back.
That was a good game.
I mean, they got other running backs, but you lose a Charbonnet, that's a tough one to replace.
That was a really good game.
Yeah, it was. He goes, I think Geno followed Pete. Thought they could do something. After that first game, though, the team fell apart after the next games. Yep. That O-line on the Raider had 3 defensive tackles, push 5 more. Yeah. I mean, I was at the Patriots game, obviously, and I mean, we still didn't look superb. We did enough to win. Had we had played the Patriots a week or 2 later, they would have destroyed us. They weren't gelling yet as a team. Neither were we really. It was just we were the better of 2 horrible teams on that day.
Yeah.
But it's
we felt better for a while, didn't we? That was an enjoyable feeling for the whole 2 weeks.
It was. Well, especially for me because it was week 1 in my home area, and to stick it to the Pats fans, everybody's like, oh, we're going to the Super Bowl. Yeah, you had 3 losses this season. Just remember, one of those was to me, to my team. So we got you. We're still going to the Super Bowl. Doesn't matter. You still lost to us. The worst team in the league, the team with the number 1 overall pick. You lost to us. So kiss my ass. To the point where we all drove back up to Boston after the game. Drove another 45 minutes north. Spent the night in Boston. We had a huge after party afterwards. It was a great weekend. The whole weekend was just awesome. What's up, Ja Raider? What's going on, man? Tom Brady unfollowed Patriots on Instagram with funny 4 words. It was a fumble. He follows Raiders and Buccaneers.
Hey, what do you think our chances are of landing Jim Schwartz? Because I know Kubiak probably wants him.
He resigned, but he's still under contract with the Browns. Ja Raider sent me something about it today, so he's gonna have to take a year off. So he won't be available to coach for another team until next year.
He must be really pissed off. He must be extremely pissed off.
Look, the guy's a former head coach. at a time where Detroit the ownership wasn't doing much to help out the team, so yeah, he didn't really have a good run up in Detroit, but to not even get an interview, at least just give him an interview at least, it would have probably made it a little bit better for him. Even if you had no intentions in hiring him, they didn't even offer him an interview. When you don't even offer somebody an interview like that, that's been a head coach before, why would you not even want to give him the shot? Just shout out everybody. Don't forget, if you're new in the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe, hit the notifications. Don't forget to hit the thumbs for this show too. I do this show every Friday night, 9 o'clock Eastern PM. And usually this is an NFL show, so it's open to anybody that's a fan of any of the teams in the NFL. I put the link up. It's pinned at the top of the chat, so anybody that's in the chat that wants to come in, feel free to come on in. So have at it. I got about another 30 minutes to go before we get off the air. I'm only on for 2 hours on Friday nights. I don't like to stay on long anymore on Fridays.
And I am the single greatest homeless content in YouTube history, just so everybody knows.
Yeah, make sure you guys get over to his channel. It's The Value of Silver on YouTube. Make sure you hit that sub, hit the notifications. He doesn't do a lot of live stuff unless he comes on with me like this. But what he does do is he does do a lot of shorts and shorter videos. Not YouTube shorts, but like a 15 or 20-minute video where he talks about his life, growing up with the situations he grew up. So make sure you guys check him out.
I appreciate that, man. Have you seen any of my recent stuff, like in the last couple of weeks?
I have. Yeah, I mean, like I said, you've got a story to tell, and it's a great story, and people may connect with you. That's why I told you when you first wanted to start this, I said, you've got a great idea. You got a great story to tell. And the way you're doing it, I think, works, too, because you're putting it out in different pieces. You're not just doing a whole show, just blurting everything out there. You're doing it in small pieces like that, and at some point, someone's going to click. And so I don't know how your comments are on those shows or on those videos, but at some point, someone's going to reach out to you and say, hey, I had this similar experience. Who knows? You may be able to do a live show and get them to come on with you, and you both sit there and talk about it, provided they're comfortable with it. Obviously, you're comfortable with talking about it. And they hit, it might strike a nerve with somebody that they want to tell their story. This is a perfect platform. And if they don't want to be on camera, they can just do it by voice and just just turn their camera off so they're up here talking like this, so you don't have to see their face if they don't want to show themselves.
Yeah, I can't go live though because I don't have 500 subscribers yet.
You don't need 500 subscribers. You can go live anytime.
Really? You used to have to be able to have 500 stuff.
You can do it straight off your YouTube channel, or you can go to StreamYard, and you can, for what you need, doing the free StreamYard would work. Because the StreamYard, the free one, you get 20 hours a month.
Yeah.
For me, the StreamYard I can't do the free one, which is why I have this. But I also have, 3 other people that pitch into the studio. So I got Jason Downs works off of the studio, Duncan, and so does Chris Foratis. It's all in my name, but they pay into it, and it's like $80 a month. Unfortunately, it's not cheap.
Well, I really thought you would get a kick out of the silence video. I don't know if you saw that one.
A what one?
The silence video where I talk about this dude I knew in county jail who was a really, really nice guy most of the time, but he couldn't stand repetitive noise like the tapping of pencils and stuff like that. So whenever somebody did that around him, he would go crazy and beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, that drives me nuts too. Like you're sitting there and someone's doing this the whole time.
Yeah, he could stand that shit.
I hate that.
And the thing is, too, he was such a nice man, very soft-spoken, very easy to talk to and deal with, but do not tap your foot around him or any shit like that. And if you do, you've got about 30 seconds to stop or he's fucking breaking you in half. Like everybody was afraid of him for that reason.
They need those fidget spinners for their hands so they knock that shit off.
Yeah. That guy.
Rita says, man, Jim Schwartz made the Browns defense how it is. I predict they're falling backwards big time. The saving grace for the Browns defense is Myles Garrett still there. So he's still going to have a big impact on that. But without the right coaching, that's going to hurt. That's definitely going to fucking hurt. Let's see. Browns and Jets, I feel bad for you, but Raider Nation, Kubiak is at least a good OC, and I hope he's a Super Bowl winner on top of that, and he leads you to victory. I hope so too. I'm not looking, I'm not hoping that he fails. I want him to be good for us. Of course I do. It's been a long time since I've seen success with this team, sustained success. Let me correct that. Sustained success, meaning year in and year out, we're viable. We're contending with something, whether it be in division, conference, whatever. It's been a while since we've seen that. I don't want to be a flash in the pan. One year we come out and we're just super good, and next thing you know, next year we just start that decline again.
I can't remember the last time we put 3 winning seasons together in a row. I think it was with that Super Bowl run in 2002.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Philly fans are scared at Oakland games, though. I'm sure they probably.
Even with Derek Carr, we only had 2 winning seasons in a row at any given time. So, but yeah, I heard Derek Carr could come back, and I heard it's becoming more and more legitimate. And that would be cool for Fernando to sit behind him for a year or two. You know what I mean?
Well, for Derek Carr to play, Derek Carr's not going to play. Dude, he retired because of injuries. He's not going to come back and play.
Well, he's dropping hints at it.
He'll last half a snap, and he's going to be dead.
Well, I'm just saying he's been dropping little hints here and there on his podcast.
He can drop hints all he wants. I mean, first of all, the coaches and the owners have to be in on it. So I don't see that happening.
You think he can flip off for good?
Yeah, I even as a coach, I don't see that happening either. What makes him?
I think Jeff just got taken out for a second here, guys. I don't know if you guys can still hear me, but Jeff is apparently, I don't know if he accidentally hit a wrong button or what, but
yeah, I did. I hit my mouse by accident at the back button. No, I don't. What makes him? What makes him a viable option to come in as a coach?
Well, he knows a thing or two about being a quarterback. I mean,
yeah, but you don't just come in and be a quarterback coach right away. You got to start. I don't know. I don't see it happening. I'm sorry.
Yeah, probably.
I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy here, but I'm just trying to be realistic, I guess, is what I'm looking for the words more than anything.
Realistically, who do you want starting next year if we draft Mendoza?
Not him. Not Mendoza.
No, I know, but do you want
I think the quarterbacks going into next year are going to be just like this: Gino, AOC 12, and Mendoza. You're not going to get rid of AOC 12 right now because he's still under that rookie contract. So why would you get rid of that? It's a cheap-ass contract, and he's still a viable backup. I'm not saying he should start every week, but he's still a decent backup. So why would you want to get rid of that?
Bro, I don't even want to think about Geno Smith starting next year. I don't even want that thought in my head.
Right now, how many times do I have to say this? He's on the roster. He's still going to be the number one guy going into this season right now. Until things change, until we cut him or until we bring someone else that's going to take his place, he's still the guy, believe it or not. I know people don't like to hear that, and they think I'm an idiot, but look at the current roster. He's still on this roster. He's still that guy. Until he's replaced by somebody else. Again, we don't even know what Kubiak wants to do. We have no freaking clue. So, even sitting here saying, oh, Mendoza should start right away. How do you even know he can even I feel like a broken record so many times.
Well, if Mendoza starts right away, it's going to be another Cam Ward situation.
Yeah.
Cam Ward would probably be better off if like he wasn't on the Titans and he didn't have and he got to sit behind a decent quarterback for a year or two. But it's just not the case. The only person that I know of in the last like 15 years that excelled in that situation was Josh Allen. But Josh Allen is so special. Like he's just a different kind of a breed. But they did kind of throw him out into the Lions den right away. And I remember I saw his first game that he was starting. I don't remember if it was against the Vikings or the Packers. It was against one of those two. And he was awful. Awful. He had, his stats were something like 3 for 18 for 21 yards or something. He was throwing like backfield interceptions. I mean, it was crazy, wildly inaccurate. I said, this guy is not going to make it 2 weeks. I actually said that, like to the person I was talking to. And somehow he overcame and became basically the best quarterback in the league. But that's a rare, rare thing. That's a very rare thing. Do you remember how bad he was when he was first starting those first handful of games?
No.
Yeah, he was terrible. He was terrible. He looked like a high school kid out there against pros and stuff. But hey, man, I want to say that I appreciate you having me on again, and like I appreciate you, and you know everything. Like I always love your shows, you know that, man. And
I appreciate that.
Story time before I go. So, but you remember I told you what happened with the crash and the other guy coming to a complete stop and all that?
Yeah.
Well, the insurance company came out and declared my vehicle a total loss, even though it runs and drives great, which means I'm basically no longer legally allowed to drive the vehicle, right?
Okay.
But they gave me the payout pretty much right away, and I got a car yesterday morning, and it's a 2013 Chevy Impala that runs really nice. So I ended up with a blessing. I don't know if you believe in God or something, but I believe that was like a really big blessing from God, because I just got some really bad news with that total loss thing. But then they told me what they were going to pay me out, and I said, oh, I can work with that. And so I did, and I bought something, and Impalas are good cars, so generally speaking. So I feel like I have one to last me a few years.
Chevy, so yeah.
Yeah. What I had before was a 2013 GMC Terrain. Those things are pieces. Don't ever buy one of those things. They are pieces of absolute shit. Everything that could possibly go wrong on a car will go wrong on a GMC Terrain. Trust me on that.
I got an Acadia, so I'm good.
Yeah.
I love that car.
An Arcadia?
Oh, yeah. So comfortable.
GMC too?
That's what we drove down the Philly in.
Is that a GMC too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's when we're going to drive to Pittsburgh in when we go to Pittsburgh for the draft. Unless we fly.
Well, the Terrains fucking suck. They are the worst cars. I mean.
Well, that's small too. That's like the Chevy Equinox. It was so small. My wife had one of those until it got totaled. Actually, no, I didn't get totaled. Did that one get totaled? No, the Kia's the one that got totaled. She got rear-ended and that fucking car buckled. She got rear-ended in the floorboard on the passenger side front seat. The floor buckled, the hood buckled right above the A post. The fucking car was destroyed. The car drove sideways down the road after that. They totaled that fucking thing.
I hear that East Coast drivers are very aggressive.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever driven?
That's why when we drove up to Boston, when everybody was here for the Raiders Patriots game, whenever we went into Boston, we would pull over as soon as we got into the city, and I would take over driving because you got to be aggressive in Boston. If you're not aggressive driving through Boston, you're never going to move. So you have to be aggressive. You have to. New York City's different because everything's in grid. It's one ways run, avenues run one way, streets run the other. Every other street's a one way. Driving through New York City is beautiful. I love driving through New York City. Some people are like, I can't handle driving through New York City's a cakewalk. Boston sucks because nothing's in any type of grid. It's like the streets are all fucking bends around this way, and
Yeah.
this street starts here, but then all of a sudden it ends, but then it picks up 2 miles down the road on another. Oh, it's fucking horrible. Boston sucks to drive in.
Have you ever driven in the Midwest, like by Chicago or anything?
No. I've driven through Baltimore, Buffalo, Philly, up and down the East Coast, and the only city I hate driving through is Boston. It's horrible. Driving through it's fine. You're on the highway, just zip right through, boom. But when you have to go off and drive around, it sucks.
What are Providence drivers like?
Stupid.
Are they like aggressive like Boston though?
Yeah, kinda. Not as aggressive, just dumb. It's dumb.
The people that piss me off most of the slow ass drivers. That's the one thing I hate about Iowa, is there's so many slow ass drivers here. So many people that they will drive right at the speed limit with a 2-mile long line of cars behind them and not give a shit. And they get really pissed when you pass them too. They really think they own the road in this state. I can't stand slow ass drivers, man. I never could. A speeding driver is a lot safer than a slow ass driver to me, because the speeding driver is fucking paying attention. The slow driver is just like half daydreaming,
let me do this one. I'm thinking of. I gotta end the poll. Almost forgot about that. End the poll.
But Iowa drivers, when I first got out here, I was like riding people's bumpers like 30 times a day. A little bit of age has caught up to me, and I guess I've matured, so I don't ride people's bumpers as much anymore. Every once in a while, I still do, though. I just don't understand why people can't do 5 fucking over like they're supposed to. You know what I mean? Why it's driver after driver after driver. But especially you being from the East, if you ever had to live in Iowa, these slow ass drivers here would drive you fucking nuts.
So I just closed out the poll. So the question was, who you got Sunday? Seahawks, who cares, or the Patriots? So it went just like this. Seahawks got 73% of the vote. Who cares got 20, and Patriots got 7. That's on 46 votes. So that's pretty good. 46 votes on that. I'll take that.
That's about right. I still think I think you're going to get your wish. I think Seattle is going to stop New England. I don't see New England even having a chance.
They better, because I can't survive living in New England.
New England even have a chance? Where is New England better than Seattle right now? There isn't one aspect of the game they even compare to Seattle.
I don't know. The Patriots are favored too. That's the other thing.
Patriots are favored?
Yeah.
How is that even fucking possible?
Let's see.
Seattle puts up like 40 points.
All right, so the spread is 45.5, and it's New England plus 4.5. Oh, wait a minute.
I think Vegas is running a scam on us.
If it's New England plus 4.5, that's the Patriots' favorite, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. They definitely did, Bueno. And next year, our schedule is going to be a bitch.
I can't see the Patriots winning unless Seattle is just having one of those games where they're really, really off. I can't see the Patriots even coming close.
Oh, they're getting ready to light the torch. I want to see what this is going to be. I always like this. It's always something special.
What are you talking about?
No, it's opening ceremony for the Olympics tonight.
Oh, it is? Okay. Yeah,
they're lighting the torch right now.
It's in the United States this year, isn't it?
No. Summer Olympics is in 2028. This year's in Milan, Italy. Oh, there's multiple torches. Oh, this is pretty cool.
But I got a 2013 Chevy Impala. I'll send you pictures of it. It's like silver.
All right.
Did I ever send you pictures of my crash, like my post crash, like how my car looked?
I don't think so. No. All right, what's up, Trippy Soul? He says, if New England wins, I will be incredibly embarrassed as a Steelers fan. We had 6 rings before they had 3. They have a chance to get number 7 before us. Makes me sick to think we should have beat Atlanta in 2017. Should have beat Atlanta in 2017.
This is the long-haired dude, right? Trippy?
Yeah, Timu Kittle.
Yeah, Kittle. What's up, Kittle?
Jesse James catch kept us out of the Super Bowl, would have dominated the Falcons. Oh, God, yeah. It's pretty cool to watch. Different, but yeah, 2028 is the Olympics, the Summer Olympics here. It's Trump's last year in office. He gets the Olympics, and this year he gets FIFA. I don't know where the Winter Olympics goes after this one. I don't know who's slated to host it next. Because that'll be in 2030.
I haven't seen Predator call in for a while. I hope that dude's doing okay.
No, he's good. He's still around. Yeah.
He texted me like a month ago.
Fireworks display. God damn. This actually wasn't a bad opening ceremony. It was different.
Oh, shit. Hey, I'm finally under 300. Did I tell you that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Right this morning, I weighed in at 293. So I'm dropping it again, man.
Good.
I've now got 43 pounds to go to get to my ideal weight. And I need, so I've got, how much weight is that? I started out at 522. I'm 293 now. What is that? 220 pounds or something like that? 220, 230, something like that, man. My belly doesn't even really stick out anymore.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, I still got a lot of fat. I mean, people that can't see, but I've got a big frame. Like, I don't know if you know this. I'm 6'4" and I got like big wide shoulders. So, I can hide a lot of fat but I couldn't hide 500 pounds. Nobody can hide 500 fucking pounds.
No, I couldn't.
No, that's just like, there's no way. You know what the most frustrating thing about my weight loss journey is when I lost my first 50 pounds, right? When I got from 520 to like 460 or something, when I lost that first 50, and my friends were telling me they didn't notice a difference, right?
Yeah.
But later on, I realized that when you're that big, a 450 pound man and a 500 pound man don't look all that different when they have their shirts on.
No, they don't.
Because it's so big that 50 pounds.
You wear a big shirt, so it
yeah,
it fits on you. Just makes you look different. It makes you look the same, basically.
But when I dropped from 450 to 400, people definitely noticed. And then when I dropped to 350, I will never forget getting on the scale and getting under 400 for the first time in who knows how long. Like, I was like literally crying, and I'm not an emotional guy who fucking cries, but I cried like that I got under 400. There was a hiccup before that too, though. There was like, I was only weighing myself once every 3 months. And there was a period where 3 months later, I was still the same weight that I was 3 months ago. And that frustrated the shit out of me. But, I just kept at it. But yeah, when you lose 50 pounds and no one notices, it's like kind of a kick in the ass. You know what I mean?
It doesn't appear to be a big difference. You see the difference,
Yeah.
But when you're that big, that 50 pounds doesn't show as easily,
No. Like, I walk by now, I go to stores now, and people who I kind of associated with I can walk right by them and they don't know who I am. I mean, not like close friends, but just people that I've like met.
Mm-hmm.
I can walk right by them. They have no idea that it's even me. So that's a pretty good feeling. But hey man, I'm gonna get off here. I gotta get clothes out of the dryer and I gotta fall asleep, man. But good show tonight, sorry, brother.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm cutting out of here now too. We're at the 2-hour mark, so
okay,
all right, man. Later. All right, everybody. C-Trip says, FYI, I forgot to touch up on this with you. Raiders will be a contender in 3 years if free agency and draft goes well, and Clint manages to bring in Jim Schwartz. Well, Schwartz won't be till next year. He resigned in Cleveland, but they still own his rights. So we would, if we wanted him, we would have to trade for him. And I am not all about trading for a fucking defensive coordinator. I wouldn't want to trade for a head coach, meaning Tomlin. Why would I? There's no way I would be all in favor of trading for a defensive coordinator. Absolutely not. We'll take our licks on defense if that's the case. If we want to wait till next year and bring them in, that's fine. But no. Trust and believe the Raiders with the hires they've made. And the way Tom talks about Mendoza, it's like he's remembering himself. Come back to this when you're all deep in the playoffs in 2 or 5 years. I will reserve judgment on the whole Mendoza thing. But on that note, folks, you're calling it. I will next week again, next Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific. Make sure you tune in. Hopefully we get more fans in here from the other teams. I got to do a little more promotion on this next week for sure, especially after Sunday's game. I may go on Sunday during the game. I may actually do a live watch party thing in Majiggy. So keep your notifications on, because if that's the case, I will be setting it up at some point on Sunday to be on here live. And if not, you will catch me Tuesday night on the Most Notorious podcast, along with Will from Silver and Black podcast, and Cheeto Linus. And Wednesday, the Raider Connection with myself, Jay from Just Raiders Baby, LV Raider 10, and Leo Cheeto Linus. You'll see us on Wednesday night. So until next time, everybody, stay safe and still go Raiders. And go Seahawks. Screw the Pats.